you. So we are using WebEx meetings today, and we're welcoming you to the NCEES session, tips and tricks for NCEES. We're asking you to use the chat to enter any questions today. Anybody and everybody can see those, and most people will be thinking the same questions you might be thinking about. So, but if you do have private questions, you can open up the question and answer panel. That's usually under your three dots in your navigation area. And let me see if I got I do have my highlighter on. So under here, you might find the Q&A. If you do need closed captions, that has been enabled for today's session as well. And we are recording. If you're having audio issues, look under the three dots and go to switch audio. Oh, see if I can back that up. I am Cami Nair, and I'm with NCDPI, and I manage the teacher evaluation system, NCEES, which is your North Carolina Educator Effectiveness System. I don't know if Dr. Sox is joining us today, but he is my partner in crime here with the NCEES system. He knows everything about the policy side of the system, and he is amazing at getting answers for you guys. So maybe he can join us later. I'm also joined by Audrey Long. She is going to help us monitor questions. She's my colleague up here that manages learning.com. I'll let Audrey say hello.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the NCEES Did You Know Tips. Glad to have you here this evening.
Yep. And if you've joined us in the past, we used to have another colleague of mine, Kim Simmons, retired this summer. So congrats to her. So they are currently in the process of hiring a new Kim Simmons as the NCEES coordinator. She works closely with Dr. Sox on the policy side of the system and handled a lot of the policy webinars that we hold. Okay, so we're doing a little spirit theme today since it is October, and this is Do You Know Tips and Tricks? And I will update this link. Use the link that's in your chat. I'm sorry I missed this slide right here, but there is an updated link. This link will take you to last year's slides. There is an updated link in the chat. So in this session, we're going to learn the tips that may help improve the timely processing within NCEES on the My Staff page, the staff evaluation page, and a few other areas as well. And you're welcome to use these slides in your district. If you repurpose them, though, do credit your district for the slides. So the very first thing we're going to look at is how to pin a list of staff. And what I like to do is maybe show you some slides, and then we'll jump over to the live side and we'll watch our time. And if we have time, we'll do a lot of it in the live side to help you know where to navigate to. All right, do we have any questions before we begin? All right, I'm going to put that link to the slides in the chat one more time because I see we have a few more that have joined us. All right, we're going to get started with pinning a list of staff. And are you working with a group of staff plans? You can pin that group in NCEES. And the navigation is going to be the Staff Evaluations tab in NCEES. So here's what that looks like. I'm going to bring this over to show you how to pin staff. And we're also going to look at how to filter that page as well. So I'm going to be a principal. Let me get this training principal here. And hopefully he has some staff we can work with. All right, so if you're a principal or a site administrator, you can go to staff evaluations. If you're a teacher that's a peer observer or a mentor and have been assigned to look at staff, then you'll also see staff under staff evaluations. District administrators in the system, you see all the staff in your location as long as they have started their plan to make them active, because only active plans show up under staff evaluations. If you're not seeing any plans, and we'll probably talk about this in a couple slides, on this page, it means that they have not started their plan. It's not active for it to show up here. So again, we are in NCEES and we've navigated to staff evaluations. And we should have a list of our staff. So here's my training principal and his training staff. You'll see the same teacher because we have assigned different plans to the same teacher when we're testing out plans over the summer. So this is what you see on this page. What it's giving you is who owns the plan, what is the active plan that has been started, what rubric has been set in my staff. So if this right here I see is a standard plan, this is a tip for you if you're a principal. If you're seeing a difference between the name of the assigned active plan and the actual assigned plan, this is a standard. They're working in an abbreviated. Normally this isn't right. So you would need to either fix and assign them an abbreviated plan in my staff, or you would need to make sure that they have started the standard plan that's been assigned. Maybe they accidentally got assigned 2 plans this year and they've started the wrong one. And then if you're district administrator, you would see a drop down on the left that allows you to archive the plan that they should not be working in. The other things on this page is this is a handy area. Let me scroll all the way down so I can scroll over to see the statuses in NCEES. So if it's green, they have completed the activity. If it's gray, they have not started the activity. If it's a blue 3/4 circle, they have started the activity. You can actually click on these activities and get into them. Now, I've had a couple questions this year. People have clicked into a started activity, like on a comprehensive plan. They've clicked into observation 1. And let me see who's not muted. Y'all make sure you're muted, please. Thank you. So if you click in there and you can't get to it, go and click on open up the actual plan by clicking on their name, because like observation 1 in a comprehensive plan, the pre-observation is required before you can actually get into the observation number 1. So we were finding that principals were trying to click and get into observation 1, but the pre-step had not been done yet. So there's 2 different ways to get to the plan. You can click on the little flowers, or you can click on the actual teacher's name, which then takes you into their plan. That. The back arrows sometimes work in NCEES, so play with that. If not, if it doesn't work, you're just going to have to go back and start over. I wanted to show you how to filter this page and then how to pin a list of staff. There's a couple areas. Let's scroll back down. Hope they fix this in NCEES one day. So here we have our list of staff. Here I have an add filter button. So I want to only work with my staff that are on a comprehensive plan. So I'm going to go look for my active plan is equal to the comprehensive evaluation for the 21-22 school year. And I must click update table. And now I have everybody that's on a comprehensive plan. Maybe I also only want to work with or send a message to, we're going to learn that in just a minute, everybody that needs to complete observation 1 and has not. So I can add another filter and I can say I want to look at observation number 1. Now this is a teacher plan, so I'm only looking at the first part of this little link here. And I want it to be not equal to completed. So I want everybody that is not completed, and I can update my table. And now I have everybody that has not completed observation number 1. And maybe I want to work with this staff. So I can pin, I'm clicking the pins. This is creating a list for me. Now I may have other staff already pinned in here from other trainings. So this is to show you how to pin staff. You can only pin one list at a time. So if I already have other people pinned, this is going to add these 2 teachers to my list. So remember that when you're pinning a list, you may need to clear out a previous list first. So I've pinned my 2 staff. Now, how do I keep working with this staff for the next 2 weeks? So I can then go to show my list and click on that. And now I'm my little icon changed up here, and I'm only working with the staff that have been pinned. So good. I've only got my 2 here. If I ever want to go back and see my other staff, I just need to click show all. Okay. And of course, as long as your filters are active here, it's only going to show you who's under that filter. So down at the very bottom, we see message all and message. There's another area that you can pin people to send them messages. And before we do the message, let's look under the 3 little icons. I'm going to clear my filters. I'm just going to X them out and update my table. And I'm going to go under the little hamburger sign, and I'm going to select the comprehensive evaluation from here. And then here's my list of everybody that's on the comprehensive plan. Maybe I just need to work with everybody on the comprehensive plan so I can pin them. Notice I can't get to show my list here, but I can get to the message on this page as well. So that's another way to get to everybody that's on the current plan type, is to go under the hamburger icon. Now, if I want to send these people a message, I can just click message all, and it gives me a little pop-up. I can put in, you need to complete training and orientation. Watch the number that's listed here. That's going to kind of tell you if that's who you're expecting to send to 3 people, and you see a 3 here, that's good. If you want a copy of this email, you can click that here. You can add others by clicking add an email. They must be people that are in NCEES. Close that out. When you get that email, it does not let you know who all you emailed to. It just sends you a CC. So you may want to take a screenshot or just remember who you sent them to. Now notice I have 2 options down here. This is who they're going to get this email from. We usually just leave this at no reply. And I usually put them in my message. Please do not reply to this email. I'm just giving you a reminder to go do your training and orientation. I want to send it to the email. Your emails must be correct in NCEES. Emails feed in from PowerSchool SIS email in the teacher information page. They also feed in from your HR data information if the staff is not in SIS. And if you want to send an announcement, that actually goes into NCEES. And I don't know if you can see up here where I'm trying to circle my arrow, there's a little envelope icon. That's where announcements go. And when people go to their plan under my evaluation, they also see announcements on that page. So you can do both or one or the other. If you want the announcements to end on a certain date, maybe I don't want them to see that message forever. Maybe I just want them to see it through the 19th. Then I can put that in there. Or I can just blank it out. Okay.
Tammy.
Yes.
Asha wants to know our SLPs in NCEES.
Okay, I think that's the speech language. Yes, if you have budget code 132, but you do not have evaluations in NCEES. Does that help? Yeah, we bring in budget code 132, so you may be in NCEES, which we've just left it. The evaluations aren't in NCEES. You'll do those outside of NCEES, but you can do the professional development. Okay, and then you just type your message in and you click send. And there it goes. Now, what if I only needed to email one of these teachers? Only one of these teachers on the other page when I filtered, or 2 of those teachers on the other page were missing their training and orientation. So I would just check the box. And notice when I check that box, if you'll watch this box right here, it becomes active. And I'll click message. I don't want to message everybody. I just want to message who I selected. And notice I get those same screen. I'll fill all of that out and click send. And if I look at my number up here right now, it actually lists out the 2 people that I'm sending this to. All right, let's go review real quick with our slides. So we went to the staff evaluations page and we looked at our table. We learned how to add a filter and how to update the table after you add each filters. Audrey, can you see our screen? I have somebody saying they can't
Yes,
see
I
the
can
screen.
see it. Uh-huh.
Okay. I'm not sure why the screen is green for you. You might want to see if you're on the, see if you minimized it or refresh the screen or go out and come back in.
And also, Shannon I wanted to make sure Shannon was able to click on the icon so she wouldn't see the captions. I had told her just to click on the little icon to the far left at the bottom. I want
Okay.
to make sure she
Yeah,
was
if you
able to
don't
do
want to
that.
see the captions, or if you do want to see the captions, use the little robot man, the lower left, or little Martian guy. All right. So we updated the filters, and then we learned how to pin a list and to show my list, and then how to show all once you're done with your list. If you already have a list going, you're going to unclick them if you want to start a new list, because you can only have one list at a time. Here's those drop down arrows that district administrators see where they can archive or delete plans. We also talked about looking at the active plan versus what is set in my staff. All right, and then there's the pin. And then we talked about emails and messages and how to send those to staff to give little reminders. Once you check a box, the message button does become active. And we learned about the message all and the message some. And how to CC others. You have to have them in NCEES. All right, so let me bring this back real quick and I'll show you one other area where anybody can email anybody that's connected to your plan. So if we were to, I don't know if this guy's got an active plan, but we may can open one of their staffs. But he does. Let's see if there's an email icon. So I'm going to open when you're in my evaluation. Let's see where it might be. I don't know if the principal's got as many emails as the other ones. So I'm going to come back over here and open up one of the teacher plans. So when you're in the main activities, like observation 1, you'll notice, let me see if I can zoom in. Like in the main activity over on the right is a little envelope icon. And this is for anybody to use. And you'll also see a list of who is connected to your plan. So if you're a teacher and you have a question for your principal, you can actually click the box, say, I want to email the principal. It's going to put the plan owner's name, and that's going to be the teacher. So this is the macro that puts the teacher's name up here. You can change the subject if you want to. That's perfectly fine. You don't need to keep the macro up there. Then put in your text and put send email. There isn't a way like to copy on this email to send it to yourself as well. Well, you could check the box there and it should send you an email. But there's not a way to add others. Only people connected to the plan. Okay, any questions? I think we're good. All right, there's what we just looked at. Okay, the next thing we want to look at is working with similar plan activities. So are you working in the same plan type, the same activity, but for different staff? There's a shortcut. This is also found in staff evaluations. So we're going to navigate to staff evaluations. And we're going to pick a plan. And I'm going to open a plan. Now you could have picked it from the list below. So while I'm in somebody's plan, and maybe I'm going through making sure everybody's got their training and orientation, or maybe I just need to go through, I've done several observations. I need to go do complete my observation form and do my acknowledgement as an evaluator. So I can open up the comprehensive plan, and everybody I've worked with is on a comprehensive plan. So here's the first teacher, teacher 1. So I'll go do my activities in here. I'm still in the plan. Over here on the left is a group icon. I'm going to click the group, and it's going to show me everybody else that I have access to that's on this same plan type. So I can come in here and I can click over to teacher 2. I do not have to go back to staff evaluations page. This is a training site, so every once in a while we see these training errors. But this would have opened teacher 2's plan, and then I could come back under and go to teacher 3. You can also, if you have a long list of people, you can also do the search at the top. So there's another plan that opened up. All right. Okay, I see somebody else that says they cannot hear. Audrey, if you'll tell them to look under the 3 dots for the audio, change the audio. I think everybody else can hear me. Okay, also on the staff evaluations page, there's a report called Evaluation Completion Report. And I'm going to show you how to print only what you need in that report. So we're going to navigate to staff evaluations, and we're going to go through all these steps. So let me go show you that. All right, so we're heading to staff evaluations. And when I scroll down, over here on the right is a graph icon. Before I click on it, I thought of another tip to tell you. When you filter your page, if you want to download what's on the page, you can use this download CSV. It will only download what you have on your page. Now, if you're running reports under the graph icon, it's going to run everybody that you have access to. So we're going to go to this graph icon, the reporting menu, and we're going to select evaluation completion. This is really, in this list, the only report that works well in North Carolina right now. We're working on these heat maps to see how we can get them to report what we want them to report. But the evaluation completion report, we've had great response for that. It does show you all the activities and what status is in them. So we're going to select a plan, and let's do comprehensive evaluation. And notice how every one of these activities is checked. And I really don't want to see if I come down here, I've got all the activities here, but I don't want all those activities showing up. So I'm going to come up, and you actually have to scroll to the bottom of the list. Well, I might have to zoom out to see it. There it is. Okay, so I had to zoom out a little bit. I want to deselect that list. So now I've unchecked everything. Maybe I only want to see who has done their training in observation, and if the whole container is locked. If the whole container is locked, that tells me that all the required activities are completed. The acknowledgments are completed, the conferences are completed. So lock observation is a good area to check to get a report on. That's going to tell you all of these other steps are completed if they're required. All right, and then once I check my boxes, I have to refresh my report. So I'm going to click refresh. All right, and now I can see in this top part here, overall, how many people do I have not started their plan, how many people are in progress, and how many people are complete. So it's telling me I have 3 participants on the comprehensive plan. I don't have anybody that's not started, so that's good. I have 3 that are in progress, but their plan is not fully complete yet. So it's going to stay in progress until you do that final summary evaluation and lock everything. You can drill down into each of these pluses to get additional information. I have 2 people that have not started their training and orientation. They've started their plan, but they've not done the training and orientation. I have 1 that has completed training and orientation. And look, it also gives you percentages complete also. So this is a good area maybe to go find some percentages when people are asking for percentages. Now, that's the overall. You can also come down here and drill into each activity and kind of see the same thing we just looked at up above. At the very top, there's a PDF. You can export this to PDF or download it to PDF and print it. I'm going to scroll back down. I hope I'm not making y'all dizzy. Over here on the left above the word name, there's a export it to a CSV. So you can download and put it in Excel. It does not come with the pretty colors. You're going to have to format it yourself. But notice here that because I changed the checkboxes, now I have exactly what I want to see at this point in time. Overall status, everybody has at least clicked into their plan. It started. This is a good report to see who has not started an assigned plan. And then I look at training and orientation. I say, well, good. Teacher 1 has completed training and orientation, but I need to send an email to teacher 2 and teacher 3 because they've not started their next step. Okay, any questions about how to do that report? Yep, so just follow the steps on this slide to get the report that you want to have printed out. We talked about downloading the CSV. If you are a large district, you do want to filter your page if it has, especially if it has more than 5,000 for you to report on. The download CSV has a maximum capability of 5,000 plans. All right, unlock and reopen. District administrators, you guys have the rights to unlock and reopen completed activities in a plan. This has changed within the last couple of weeks. So if you are a superintendent that has district administrator rights, you now only have view only rights because we are creating that view only role that districts have asked for the past 4 years. So the role of superintendent, if you're a DA, you no longer have reopen. They can be manually assigned back to you. So if you have any questions about that, please email me or open a support ticket. Everybody else that gets assigned to a district administrator role, you can unlock and reopen a completed activity. Completed activities show with the green checks. Once it's been reopened, it will show an orange icon with a little curvy arrow. So when you're looking at somebody's plan and it's been locked, you must unlock it before you can reopen anything. Sometimes it takes 2 steps. If the whole container or channel has been locked, go unlock it first and then come up and reopen. So the unlock activity for us, for a lot of us, when we see this icon with the unlock showing, we think, well, it's unlocked. No, whoever built this said, well, I'm going to put an unlock lock here, and that means you need to click me to unlock it. So if you see it's open like this, it means it's locked. You need to unlock it. So you're going to click on that lock icon. Since I'm a site administrator right now in NCEES, I can't really show you this, but if you click that lock, then it will give you a little message. It says you're about to unlock all these activities, and then you just click OK right there, and it will be unlocked. Now that everything is unlocked, all these little locks will go away, but you'll still have this reopen icon. So maybe somebody needed to edit something in the formal observation or one of these acknowledgments, and you've gotten the approval to unlock and reopen the activity so that somebody can make a correction. You've unlocked the channel. Now you need to click the pointy arrow and reopen the activity. All right, do we have any questions about that? Takes at least 2 steps if the container is locked. Okay, let's go look at my staff. This is another area that administrators go to. Site administrators, the head principals, and district administrators can get to my staff. Assistant principals, you cannot get to my staff unless somebody has been assigned you site administrator access. And that just means when you're giving a site administrator access, that now you can go click on the reports tab and you can go click on the My Staff tab. It doesn't give you any access rights to a plan, but it does let you go help with reporting and with setting access rights. So we're going to go look at My Staff. If you're zoomed in, it may be under this little drop-down arrow on the right. And I just wanted to walk you through what you see on the My Staff page and see if you've clicked on any of these other links that can help you out. So within the last year or so, we changed how this page looks so that you now have the filters on this page as well. So it's the same concept as we looked at on staff evaluations. You can add filters here on this page as well. And you can filter for people's names, for the employee ID, or their position. Maybe you only want to work with your principals today, so you can do position, contains, let's see if this works, admin. Yep, and now I've got my administrative positions. Okay. So I hit enter. It's the same thing as update table. Sometimes you do have to click on update table, but most of the times hitting enter is going to work. I'm going to remove that filter and update my table. Now I've got everybody back. So on this page, also, you can search by name. Let's do. I hit enter, and now I've got my principal. Clear that out and hit enter. So that's a good way to be able to just filter your page and work with a certain group or a certain individual. Under here, you're going to see the people's profiles. If you're a site administrator, this is just pretty much view only. If you're a district administrator, you do have the ability to edit some areas. Do remember, if you're trying to edit some of the demographics and all, a lot of that feeds in from our nightly person import file. And if you make any changes, it's just going to get overwritten unless you've also updated the source files. So I wanted to show you all these links on the left. So a lot of people haven't really been using these. So check these out. Here's the all staff link. And notice I have all staff at the location that I'm at. Now, if you have access to more than one school, you can switch schools up here at the top. On the all staff page, you can also use the same filters. You can actually email people as long as their emails are correct in NCEES by clicking on their email. You can look at their demographic information, and under the drop down arrow, you're going to see their plan that has been assigned and if it's been started or not. So here we see the principal has started their plan because it has the word edit. That means it's active. It's already started. I could actually stay on this page and open up the plan by clicking on it. Now, if you're wondering, has somebody started their plan or not, you can use this all staff page to find out. If you see the word start here instead of edit, it means that plan has not been started. So if you've ever assigned the wrong plan type and then went back and assigned a new plan type, check here, and you're wondering why they're still working in the old plan type, check here and it will tell you if they've started the new plan type. And then you can have the information to be able to advise the staff to start their other plan type. Okay. Staff details. This is very similar to the My Staff page. Really not any different. You can go on this page to set plan types, to see the user profile. So staff details and My Staff are pretty much the same thing. Evaluations. This one's kind of handy. This one is where you want to work with everybody on a certain plan type. Notice you have to pick a plan type and it will populate them down here. And then you can edit, go into their plan, or you can print their plan or click on their name. And it should, I think, go to their plan. Yes. So all of that is found under My Staff. So if you ever want to work on plans and you're in My Staff, you do not have to go to staff evaluations. You can go and click on All Staff or Evaluations and get to the plan. Audrey, we doing good on questions?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. I don't think we're doing anything in there. Okay, good. So we did talk about assistant principals. You can actually give site administrator to any other role in NCEES. District administrators can. That is up to the district. Do remember that it does not give them access to the plans to be observers or evaluators. That still has to be manually set. But they won't see My Staff until you give them site administrator and set their administrator location. So there is a help guide out there, the district administrator help guide, that helps you set those roles. And then once you've given an AP site administrator rights, they can see both My Staff and reporting. And then they can help run reports, or they can help assign peers, things like that. All right. So what if I don't see my staff in staff evaluations? How do I know if the missing staff is in NCEES? So remember, we looked over here and we get a lot of questions every year from principals. My staff are not in NCEES. I'm working in staff evaluations. They are not in my list. And if they're not in your list, it's probably because they've not started their plan. But there could be another reason. So you want to go to My Staff and make sure their name shows up on your roster. And if you see their name on your roster, make sure they have a plan type set so that they have a plan to start. So you may want to go ahead and set the plan type. Now, NCEES automatically sets principal plans if it sees a principal budget code. So you don't need to set that. And principals actually don't get PDPs, but just for presentation purposes, I'm setting a PDP type as well. Because What is set in this area determines what rubric shows up in both plan types. So if this was a counselor, I have to set these at the same time so that the counselor rubric shows up in the observation in the comprehensive plan and in the self-assessment in the PDP. So that's another way to check to see why they're not showing up in staff evaluations. Are they in the roster list? If not, you need to check with your payroll or who's ever updating DPI's staff UID that a lot of people call CEDARs. Make sure that they're active there with the NCEES budget code so that they do show up in NCEES, and then make sure that they have their plan type set so that they can have a plan to start. Okay. All right, so we just looked at how to do that navigation, and we looked at all the little links. And then getting close to the end now, what reports can I run in NCEES? What reports are best for running? And here are several questions. Are our staff completing plan activities per the calendar due dates? Do we have staff who are active in more than one district? Are all the mentor relationships assigned? Are observations following guidance for start and end times? Are the orientation dates for your teachers within the first 10 days of school or the higher date? Do the PDPs of beginning teachers have mentor signatures? And are all the peer observer relationships assigned? How many pre or post conferences were signed by accident or not by the evaluator instead of the teacher? And do I have any staff with more than one active evaluation? Where can I find reports for that? So here on this, I've got a slide with all the answers to those questions. We're going to go look and see where to find those. It is under the reporting tab. So I'm going to click on reporting. We're going to stay in this top container. So the answer to those questions, you want to run the quick reports module. So I'm going to click that, give it just a second. Now, when I click on this, I'm going to see some reports start to pop up. And notice that they are doubled up. The current year report, and then there's a report that you can select past years to run. So we have two different types of reports. We also need this current year report if you ever decide you want to schedule reports to run quarterly or monthly. We have a help guide out there on how to do that. You're going to select the current year report to set up that schedule. So remember, there's a current year report, and then there's a report where you can select past years. So you can run the current year with the select year one as well. And here's the activity lock report. Remember, I told you if the containers were locked, then you know the signatures are in place. Are there any deactivated plans in my district? Somebody went on leave, their budget code changed, maybe their plan deactivated. I want to know who that is because they're coming back now and I need to request DPI to reactivate that plan. Here's evaluation completion exception report. I'm going to go ahead and run this one. This is an awesome report. Notice now it says this report is ready to be run. Please press done. All right, so now I have my report on my teachers that I have access to. I have all of the activities in the plan. I could download this to a CSV and sort it by plan type or sort it by teacher name. Then I can see who's not started here. Orientation, this person's not started. Who has completed? There you go. It will also show you activities that have been clicked into and they're in progress. So this is an awesome report that a lot of our district users love to run. If it's not in the plan, you may not have any answers, but it does report on all the plan types: standard, comprehensive, late hire, abbreviated. I'm going to click back to reporting. And I just want to show you a couple more, and then we're going to take a look at one more report. Just want to show you what all was out here. These evaluation summary reports are for the end of the year. Once the plans are completed, then you can run these reports to get the ratings reports. You don't get any ratings until we do the evaluation summary, because teachers and staff are not getting evaluated during an observation. So to get the ratings, you need to do the evaluation summary report at the end of the year. Several of those. Here's how many people belong to more than one site within a district, or more than one site within my district or outside of my district. Those are good to run every so often if you're a district administrator and you're managing who's in NCEES. Here's the mentor report. Now, the plan has to be started for the mentor to actually show up in this report. If the plan is not active, we found out that the mentor would not be listed in this report. So make sure everybody that should have started their plans have started them, so that these reports will pull all the mentors that have been assigned. If it has DPI in the name, those are DPI reports. Here's your observation start and end times, and I'll let you go through the rest. The other report I wanted to show you that's kind of recently new is the one that's landed on when you first come on this page, and that's the evaluation process current year. And it's called the GP status report. Just want to show you what that is. We're going to click next. If you are a district administrator, this will actually have more choices. If you are a school administrator, then you're only going to see your school, because that's all you have access to. Right there's my school name. District administrators, you can drill down or you can run for the whole district. You're going to click next. You're going to choose a plan. You're going to click next. And you're going to click done. Okay, so now I have my status report. This is another area that you can get percentages. So here I have 3 people on a comprehensive plan. 100% of them are in progress. I can drill down into every one of these activities. Maybe I want to see who's complete in their observation 1. Here's all the activities in that observation 1 container. And I can see who's complete and who's not. So I have 2 that have at least gotten through acknowledging the post-observation conference. So just come out here and play with this report. I know every once in a while your superintendents want percentages. District administrators, you can run this for the whole district. So this would show a completion for your whole district. And then over here on the left, district administrators, you would see a list of all the different schools. So you can click on a school and actually view individual staff information. So here I've got my teachers listed out, and I can actually drill down in there and see where they're at, see what they have completed, what they've not started, and if the container is locked. So this one's in progress, so it's almost complete. Now, an activity may not be started because it's not required for the plan. Like an acknowledgement override is not required. So you may see the end on that, and that's perfectly fine. Written responses are not required. So you may see the not started on those, and that's perfectly fine. So I just thought that was a neat little report for site administrators to be able to run, and district administrators. All right, I hope we're not going too fast. You guys do go ahead and if you need to unmute and ask me a question, I'm perfectly fine. We're getting towards the end of our time, so we have a couple more things to look at. Here's just a slide on that. A lot of districts told me they like to run the quick reports, the evaluation completion exception report that we first looked at around November, January, March, and May to make sure everybody's on track. There's a picture of what we looked at, a completed exception report. Okay, and then let's delve into professional development. And this is a report for administrators to see who has completed required PD that is found in NCEES. So you've got your ECATS courses, your MTSS courses, you've got other courses from DPI that you're requiring your staff to take, and you want to know who has finished what course. And you can actually use the staff dashboards as long as you have access to system administration. Let's go back to the live. And we're going to go to system administration. And under system administration, you're going to see this staff dashboards. It was system administration, staff dashboards. You need to load up your staff. You can either do that by site. You can drill down as far as you need to. I'm just going to try this one. You could also play with these other areas to drill down. So you could do by demographics. Maybe you only want to see certain roles. Maybe you only want to see your master teachers or your social workers. You can load up a list of staff by using this areas on the left. You can actually use the individual search. And if you're using staff groups in NCEES, your saved staff groups will show up here, and you could click a staff group and load them up in this middle section. If you're looking at more than one location and you want to have them grouped by site, you're just going to click that top box. This tells you what location each of your people are. All right. What we want to look at today is course completion reporting, but I urge you to try it and look at all of this stuff out here. So we're going to go to course completion reporting. Zoom out a little bit. And then you're going to, if you know the course numbers, you can put them in. So, and I don't know, since these are training people, they don't always have the courses, so I may not get a report to show. If you only want a course, certain course number, make sure you surround it with the parens. So I put parens 35 parens. I believe that's the mentor course. You don't need to put anything else. You don't need to add the title. As long as you've got the course number correct, you're good. If there's a certain section under a course that you want reported on, you can put in the section number with the same with the parens as well. If you know what office created the section, depends on what you have access to, you might can pick those. If you want to put in dates, you can do that. Now, here's where you need to decide what you want to see. Do you want to see all three of these? Everybody that never registered for the course, they're not registered for it. Who has registered for the course, and then who has completed. I'm going to leave all these checked since I'm working with my training accounts. So the first button we're going to look at is summary. It's going to give you a pop-up. Hopefully. I have to go back to the slides. There we go. All right, it's going to give me an overall. So I have access to 5 people, and apparently all 5 people are not registered for this course. So 100% are not registered. If I had anybody registered, they would show up here and a corresponding percentage would show. And if I had anybody complete, that corresponding percentage would show here as well. Notice I can also download this report. I'm going to close that, and I want to show you the other report. This is your detail report. Give it a minute to load. Zoom out. And it does give me more information, but it gives me information per person. So here I have first name API, principal 1, teacher 2. These are all the people I have access to. And I can look over here. Here's the course I asked for, the course number I asked for, and what status is their registration. So this will let you know if if you told somebody to go register for a course and they show up in this list as not registered, then you know that you need to contact them to say, hey, let's get registered for this course. Okay, does anybody need to re-see that? It's a good way to tell who has completed what PD you've assigned in your district. Okay, we have 3 minutes, so let's look at our final slides. We talked about finding those course completions. And I have some screenshots for that. Let me click this link. We always do enjoy when you join us for our webinars, and we appreciate any feedback. And if you do our feedback survey at the end to earn your certificate for today, there's 2 questions. Do you elect to receive a certificate? And then where should the certificate be emailed to? So you're going to need to fill that out. I put that in the chat. We do thank you for attending today. If you elect to receive the certificate, it is worth 0.1 CEU. I believe it's actually, we got these set for the DLC credit type now. It used to be general. You'll get that email from Qualtrics, and it may be general. But either way, the acquiring of CEUs and contact hours is subject to your local district, to your public school unit for approval. So if it needs to be approved for a different credit type, they would be the ones to approve that. Do I have any questions from you guys? I hope you all learned a little bit today and had a little few tips and tips. We really like those reports and the ability to email everybody.
Yes, I have a question.
Yes.
I am looking, where do you find the rubric for your first observation that needs to be held for staff that's on a comprehensive? Would you go into that My Evaluation under the My Evaluations tab?
Yes. So you want to actually see the actual rubric to fill out.
Yes.
All right. So you would go to whoever you have access to in staff evaluations. And you want to look at a comprehensive plan. You
Okay.
actually click on their name to open the plan.
Okay.
If you accidentally click on this, it's just going to give you a list. I'll show you that real quick. It's going to give you a list of everybody on that plan. And then you can click on the name from there. So there's no worries if you click on the title first.
Okay.
All right. And then the rubric, and I have, this one's locked. Let's see if we can get this one. Well, I picked one that's not open. But yes, it would be under the formal observation. That's where the rubric will be.
Okay.
Let
And I
me,
download that and print it out?
yes. Oh, you don't need to print it out, only if you want to.
Okay.
You want me to show you how to get through it?
Yes, please.
Okay. All right. It is 5 o'clock, so I'm going to say goodbye to everybody else. We'll keep recording for about 3 or 4 more minutes to show this, but then we'll end the recording and fully end the session. So you're welcome to hang out with us, but it is 5 o'clock, so I understand if you need to go. I'm going to see if I can get that observation open.
Okay. So will I be able to take a look at it when you open it?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So can I access this through DPI's website or do I have to log into NCEES?
You have to log into NCEES to work in somebody's plan in NCEES.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So yeah. So now, because this was a required activities have these little asterisks.
Right.
So I couldn't open the form a while ago because I had reopened this pre-observation and it was required. And the way to see what's required is to look under these eyes. So if you can't get into
Okay.
something, look under the eye and it'll tell you why.
Okay, the eyes will tell you what's required.
Yes, to get into that activity. All right, so now the pre-observation steps have been done and it's time for the formal observation. So you click on formal observation and it actually opens the plan. You would actually have a start new button at the top of this and it
Okay.
will open up this container. I'm going to see if I can continue it. Let me see. Nope, I'd have to reopen it. So you would see continue here if it's already started, or you would see a start new at the top of the page. You wouldn't even see this menu until you started it new. And then you would
Okay.
come in here and these would all be open blocks.
Mm-hmm.
Let me try something. See if I can show you one that's actually open. If I have any trainees, let's see. I can't do that. Yeah, I can't get in there, but I might can show it to you since I'm a state user.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. Let's see if we can continue. Yep. All right. So then once you start it, it looks like this. So you would have filled out your start and end times here with the edit. You would put those in.
Okay.
And then I'm just gonna save that as is. Oh, it says I need some stuff.
I was gonna say you got to put some time in there.
And save. Okay. So now here's my rubric, and this is where you'll then come in and check what what you see on the observation
Right.
ones and what you know on the other ones. And
Okay.
you do not have to fill in every box here. If you don't see this one, don't check it. Or if you don't know
Right.
that one, don't check it. Yep.
Right. Okay.
Okay. Yep.
Okay.
So you
Sounds
just go
good.
through and you do have to have at least one box checked in every element.
Okay.
So either not looked for or one of these or not demonstrated. If you use not demonstrated, you do have to
Don't
put in
see
a
it.
comment.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. That's
And yep, and then add your comments. And when you're finished, you can save and exit or just save changes if you're still working in there.
okay.
And then save.
In it. Okay.
Back. Okay. Is that what you wanted to say?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so very much.
Okay. All right.
Thank you
I'm
so
gonna,
much.
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
gonna
have
stop.
a good one.
Thanks, you too. I'm gonna
Yep.
stop the recording, but I'm gonna hang on in case anybody has any other questions.
Okay.